Oh, good, good. All right, I didn't think I was gonna get on. Okay. All right, guys. This is getting. I have been. See, I go down rabbit holes all the time, but I already because of a source, they kind of led me in the right direction, and I'm sorry. Hold on, let me get this together. Okay, so I had a source that kind of led me in the right direction on one particular story. And basically, from that particular story, all of a sudden, I ended up finding out um, on pure luck a bunch of other information. And I actually ran it by the source, and they weren't aware. And so once I started going into that information, I started going into certain parts of the internet where sometimes I'll go and just kind of check on things. I'm not gonna, give my spots, but it's a lot of people who former military, and intelligence, things like that. And there is so much going on right now, and this is the type of video that I'm not just gonna sit here and like explain it to you, because it's impossible. That's how deep this goes. We're talking it's going to be like a 5-part series, it might even be 6-part series, like 2.5 to 3 hours each. Videos. I put part 1 for this one. I should have put more like introduction, but it's just I've been up all night. I haven't slept. I've just been doing this all night. I've been doing it most of the evening as well. And I have school this morning. I already got my work done. No tests today, nothing big, and no work today, so that's good. So basically, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. So this is part 1. I should have maybe put introduction for this, but we'll just call it part 1. There'll probably be 6 parts, and we're gonna go through. And the thing is, it's not one thing in particular. We're talking huge global implications, huge global events going on. And I'm not talking about like, stuff like this might happen, but I'm not saying like, there is some rockets will fight. No, I'm talking about like the type of stuff that shapes the world. There are things going on right now. I stumbled upon a lot of this. Other stuff I was kind of led to, but most of it I stumbled across. Not only global, also domestic. Not only that, amongst all that, it's like a salad of red pills and like gold nuggets of truth. And it's going to be, I can't wait to go over all of this. And like I said, some of it I could do off the top of my head. Like, when I say some of it, I mean like a couple of them, and I'd probably butcher it. I have it all saved offline because I'm worried about it getting wiped off the internet. I'm not going to wait long in between parts, just in case, I want to get that info out there. I'm taking a chance here, and it's, you know what, I'll let the information speak for itself. It's the type of information that I'm gonna have to pull up, read with you, go through it, connect some dots, and then I'll also give some, give my opinion and things like that. But it'll be 90% sticking to 100% fact, with about 10% of, how I do it. I'll throw in some, not as much as I usually do, but I'll do like 10% opinion, and kind of like analyze and connect dots and things like that. So I don't want to give away too much right now because it would just do an injustice later. I'm curious how many people are in here right now. Yeah, see, it's it just so people, a lot of people are gonna watch this tomorrow, and by then, hopefully, I'll have the next part up where I will just literally dive right into one of the subjects. We're talking global, we're talking domestic, we're talking these a bunch of stuff that's going on. We're talking anything from legislation. We're talking of the obvious things as well that are going on Capitol Hill. Except the stuff that's really concerning that's going on in Capitol Hill isn't the stuff that you would think. And then we are also talking about, yeah, Q. Okay? There's some Q as well. Now, and it's not all exactly connected because, like I said, I had a source that brought me to certain things. I stumbled upon some other things, and then at the same time, I had some things that relate directly to Q. So as far as the Q part, I know I have until a certain date. I know the exact date. I have until that, and that's no big mystery. I think I've mentioned that before. But when this is all put together, it's going to be a lot of information, and I'm very excited to do it. I'm not suicidal. I just wanted to say that, okay? Not suicidal. Very happy. But I'm very excited, and it's just right now. If I was to do it, I'm pretty tired, and there's not that many people in here. And right now it is, what time is it? I mean, it's like 5 in the morning, or like 4:50 something in the morning. I scheduled this for 4:45 a.m. I should have just put introduction, but you know what? Actually, it would have been too many letters anyway. So this is part one. It's an introduction. I'm just letting you guys know that this is coming, and it's gonna be really exciting. I can't wait to share all this with you. It's just when I do it, I want it to be factual. A lot of it is out of my wheelhouse, especially the global stuff, and I don't know how to say it without giving it away, but certain things it's a little bit out of my wheelhouse, not totally out of my wheelhouse. So, I want to give it to you fact by fact by fact, and I have everything sourced and referenced. I mean, sometimes you guys know me. I'll kind of go off on things, but it all checks out in the end if you look into it. People actually always used to try to catch me, but then they would look into things. They're like, "Oh no, right? No, what he just said is right. Oh, that's right too. That's right too." Well, with this, no, I am going to give references. I'm going to give sources, everything. It'll all be in the description for each video. Depending on if I know exactly what I'm going to talk about, or if I add a little bit more and then I have to throw some more sources into the description later, I'm going to do it all. I'm very excited to do this. It's going to be, like I said, this is part one. It's more like an introduction, just kind of letting you guys know. But it's going to be a 6-part series. I'm keeping this stuff close to the belt. Even my closest mods don't know about this. The only people who know about it is my source, and he doesn't do YouTube. He'll look on YouTube, but he doesn't go on and have a screen name or anything, at least that I know of. Actually, you know what? I bet you he probably does, knowing him, but he definitely doesn't talk or anything. And then that's just one source. Another source was actually showing me in a different direction that has nothing to do with the stuff that I'm talking about, but that led me to a bunch of little gold nuggets and red pills to pick up. and put down. And it's going to be very interesting. I'm very excited. And I feel bad. It's almost like I'm saying all this, and then it's like, all right, goodbye. No, I'm gonna be doing this very soon. Tomorrow, today. I mean, actually, it's 5 in the morning probably now. Today, I have class at 10. I'm gonna get a little bit of rest. I would say by noon, I'll be doing the first part 2 will be at noon Eastern time. So that would be 9 a.m. Pacific time. In the comments, let me know how that works for you guys, especially you guys on the West Coast, because I'm thinking about you guys on the West Coast. That's 9 a.m. And I don't know if that's too early or you have work. I totally understand. I just know that a lot of people have this week off, including myself, except for school. And actually, tomorrow is the last day of school anyway, before a break. So, and I only have one class tomorrow, one class today. That's it. So, the other class is online. So basically, I'm really excited to do this, and like I said, it's going to cover global, it's going to cover domestic, it's going to cover a bunch of other little red pills that I'll be dropping, as well as little gold nuggets that I came across, all through sources, all referenced, all backed up, with sources. Like, you can go and look it up yourself. I'll put it in the description. You can read along. That goes for about 80 to 85 to 90% of the information. So it'll be very good. And I'm trying to think what else I wanted to say. So yeah, that's how we'll do it for now. So that sounds like a plan for me. I'm wicked excited because I've already looked through it all. And you know what? I might even... Actually, you know what? I need to get a little bit of rest before school, and then I might not find much more. But trust me, there's so much. I mean, we're talking... After this video, there'll be 5 more videos, and they'll be about 2.5 to 3 hours long each. At least that's my guess, just looking at all the intel. So any questions or if you guys have a preferred time, I can't change all the times for one person, but let's say like a bunch of people in the West Coast overwhelmingly say, hey, can you do like 11 instead? Then I'll move it to 2 o'clock Eastern time. So just I'll do all that. If you guys want, it's up to you guys. So yeah, let's get this thing started, and it's gonna be great. And there was one point I wanted to make on this part. What was the point I wanted to make? I already said basically it's going to be like 90% just straight facts, just reading the facts straight up. No conjecture. Not no conjecture, but of that 90%, no conjecture. And then only like 10% conjecture. And what was that right there? So, all right, let's get this pot. All right, so we're getting it started. $9.99. All right, great, awesome. Thank you so much, Kelly. I really appreciate that, and I'm happy. I want to get things started, and it's gonna be great. And we really, you know what? Since she did that, let's I'm gonna jump into it maybe a tiny bit. I'm not prepared for this, but let me just pull up at least like one thing, just to give you an idea. Now that's a mess. Look at that. But we're getting all new furniture in here. Okay, so wait, that's the wrong button. Oh man, I'm still getting used to this. Alright, and thank you, Kelly. So let me at least share something here. I just, I don't want to share anything that requires multiple articles. All right, so let's see. What's going on here? All right. You guys still with me, I hope? Because I took everything, I cut it out from where it was, and I put it in personal little emails sent to myself on a totally new email. That way it can't be hacked, because I actually found out some information that I will be sharing as well, and I got to be careful. So I had to do it all on new stuff. Now, I'm not used to this email. That's why I'm looking for it. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Come on. Was it the last thing I look at? Alright. Alright, so I gotta be careful, because if I show too much of the what I'm sending, shoot, I can't go to send. Alright, so let's go into, I'll give you this. This is nothing too big, but it's something. So, alright guys, here's what's going on. So, you guys all know the new director of, the new Secretary of Defense is Mark Esper. The guy with the glasses, and he was like #1 at West Point. All that. He doesn't, if I, don't quote me on this, but he is not exactly like a combat type guy, but he's brilliant, which makes him perfect for the role. Someone like Mattis, he didn't get along with Trump too good, and I don't think he does very well in those types of situations. I think he's better in the field, whereas this guy's perfect as a Secretary of Defense. Now, it turns out that there was somebody that was kind of like, I don't want to say a mole, and this kills me because as a Navy man myself, in fact, you know what? For this story, I'm going to throw on my Navy hat, not necessarily in support of this man that we're going to talk about, but in support of the Navy. And this is just like, this isn't nothing that crazy. I just want to give something. I was about to end the video, but Kelly kicked it off already with super chat. So let me just give her at least something, because this is like a two-parter. So immediate release, and by the way, so look at this. This is an official document, by the way. I got my hands on this. So immediate release statement by DoD spokesman Jonathan Hoffman, November 24th, 2019. Statement by DoD spokesman Jonathan Hoffman. Again, it repeats itself for some reason. Secretary of Defense Mark T. Esper has asked for the resignation. So he's asked for the resignation of Secretary of the Navy. That's basically the head honcho of the whole Navy, which means he is he must be an admiral, Well, he is an admiral, obviously, to be the Secretary of the Navy. So he's like an admiral. And you would wonder, well, what do you do? What do you do? Well, I think in the second piece of this, we'll get into that. Either that or vice versa. I hope I'm doing it in the right order. I wasn't expecting this, but thank you so much, Kelly. All right, so Secretary of Defense Mark T. Esper has asked for resignation. Secretary of the Navy Richard Spencer. That name might be familiar to some of you guys, and you'll see why. After losing trust and confidence in him regarding his lack of candor over conversations with the White House involving the handling of Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher. Now, that might be another name that rings a bell for you guys. But don't worry, we're going to go over all of this. After Secretary Esper and Chairman Milley spoke with the Commander-in-Chief, meaning the President, President Trump, on Friday regarding the case of Gallagher, the Navy SEAL, Secretary Esper learned that the Secretary of the Navy, Spencer, had previously and privately proposed to the White House, contrary to Spencer's public position, to restore Gallagher's rank and allow him to retire with his trident pin. Which, on its face, I respect. But let's see why that might be a problem to Esper, the Secretary of Defense. So, and by the way, a trident pin is something that a Navy SEAL has on. They, they kind of they punch it in, and it's like you wear it on your uniform. It's like that. It's like a cool little symbol that they have. I had a submarine pin, and then you can also have like a pin if you're, let's say, in the Navy, but you work on aircraft carrier, and maybe you're part of air crew or something like that. Like one of the guys I went in the buddy system that I grew up with, he was a rescue swimmer. Well, he had a pin for the air crew, and it's a totally different type of pin. And the most common pin is basically like the pin like when you go out to sea. On your ship, and that's like that's the most common pin. The least common pin would be, and then I think EOD, I'm pretty sure, has their own pin as well, but the least common pin is definitely the trident. It's exactly what it sounds like, a trident with, I believe, like an eagle. Anyways, okay, so he wanted to let him keep his trident pin and retire. All right, and when recently, and by the way, that like stands for a lot. It's not that does mean a lot to him, but by keeping his trident pin, technically, he gets to keep, his pension. He's retiring. There's a lot that comes with it, a lot of benefits. The type of discharge you have, all kinds of stuff. Anyways, okay. So, when recently asked by Secretary Esper, Secretary Spencer confirmed that despite multiple conversations on the Gallagher matter, Secretary Esper was never informed by Secretary Spencer of his private proposal. Secretary Esper's position with regard to UCMJ, that's the Uniform Code of Military Justice. I don't know. I somehow just make this up in my head because, according to people, I wasn't even in the military, let alone a crypto, right? Anyways, disciplinary and fitness for duty actions has always been that the process should be allowed to play itself out objectively and deliberately in fairness to all parties. which is a good thing because honestly, in the military, you don't have the same rights that you do as a civilian in the court of law. Let's just put it that way. The UCMJ, you have way less rights, and things do not need to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt and all that, like they do in a court of law. I mean, they do need to be proven to a point, but the standard is lower. Like a JAG, their job, it's a lower standard than that of, in civilian court. So okay, I mean they can even put you on bread. I was on a bread and water diet one time, only for a day, but some people are on it for like weeks. It's tough. Okay, so where are we? However, at this point, given the events of the last few days, Secretary Esper has directed that Gallagher retain his trident pin. So basically, Esper ended up agreeing, but I just don't think that, there's such a thing as the chain of command. And, as the Secretary of Navy, you're not top dog. Now, Esper, well, I should call him, the I'm sorry, Secretary of Defense Esper. He's not top dog either. I mean, the top dog in the chain of command is the Commander in Chief, President Trump. But obviously, as the Secretary of Defense, he can make those decisions. Whereas the Secretary of the Navy needs the okay from the Secretary of Defense. And if it's something really serious, Secretary of Defense would need the okay from the Commander-in-Chief. It's called the chain of command. Okay. Well, I think I'm kind of over-explaining something that's obvious even to a civilian. Okay. I try to think, sometimes I try to make sure that all civilians understand. Okay, so let's continue. And like I said, this is just like a random story, one of the little nuggets that I found. The big stuff is coming in the other parts, but this is still very interesting. Okay, and by the way, this is all happening at this time. The big stuff, the small stuff, the global stuff, the domestic stuff, all of this is happening at a particular time for a particular reason, with particular things going on at Capitol Hill with that circus. And that circus has this whole nation and even the world totally and just absolutely distracted. And that's the name of the game. Distract the public and there'll be no outrage, and that's the name of the game. Now, is there really some teeth to it? Yes, the Democrats really are trying to ruin and tarnish Trump's image. Doesn't seem to be working. You would think they would stop it by now because it's definitely not going to go through in the Senate. But there's bigger things at play, and sometimes a distraction, even though it's not good for our country, is a good thing when you're dealing with serious global and intelligence matters across the world. All right, let me just continue. All right, so he directed to retain his trident pin. Secretary Esper will meet with Navy Under Secretary. So that's the second in command, obviously. It might be a rear admiral, but we'll see. Now acting secretary. Oh, so it already happened. So he asked him to give his notice, his resignation, and it sounds like he did, because the undersecretary is now the acting secretary, and that is Thomas Maudley. And the chief of naval operations Admiral Michael Gilday on Monday morning to discuss the way ahead. So let me read that sentence again because that didn't read right. Secretary Esper will meet with Navy Undersecretary, now Acting Secretary Thomas Maudley, and the Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Michael Gilday, on Monday morning to discuss the way ahead. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay. I am deeply troubled by this conduct shown by a senior DoD official, said Secretary Esper. Unfortunately, as a result, I have determined that Secretary Spencer no longer has my confidence to continue in his position. I wish Richard well. Well, you know what? He let him go with his full trident and, his honor intact, despite him not exactly acting out in an honorable way. No, it might have been honorable for the man that he was helping, but it seems like there's also some deeper stuff going on as well. This is just the surface that they're telling us about. So Secretary Esper has proposed to the president that Ambassador Kenneth Braithwaite, current U.S. ambassador to Norway and a retired Navy Rear Admiral, be considered as the next Secretary of the Navy. Interesting. And I can't say why that's interesting yet. I'm sorry, because it just won't make sense, and I want to save it. Statement, and again, it ends the same way. Statement by DoD spokesman Jonathan Hoffman. That's the spokesman for the DoD. Defense Department spokesman Jonathan Hoffman says the Secretary of Defense, Mark T. Esper, has asked for... Oh, okay, so that's the same exact. Okay. So, basically, that the Secretary of the Navy was just, basically forced out. There's a personal email. I don't want that to be seen. I gotta be really smart here. Let me see. Alright, ready? Alright, check this out. Oh man, I hope this doesn't die, of course. Alright, the president opened the can. Alright, now check this out. These are intelligence officers. At least this one is. The can of whoop ass we've all been waiting for. So I was not pleased with the way that Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher's trial was handled by the Navy. He was treated very badly, but despite this was... Oh, I gotta charge this. Oh man, this is the meat. This is the good stuff. This is the lowdown on what really went on. Did you see how the DoD spokesman kind of, the way he kind of laid that out? Yeah, no, we want the meat, right? So let me just, please don't die, please don't die, please don't die. And if it dies, I'm just going to turn it right back on if it dies. All right, I was not pleased with the way that Navy SEAL. So this is a separate story, this guy in particular. I could tell that he was actually. It says at the top. You can look up his profile, and it's a bunch of people who can post on this one particular site. This isn't this isn't one of those hidden sites. But you can find some good stuff on it here and there, depending on what you're looking for. So I was curious what the backstory was, and it turns out this guy was, he wasn't a crypto. He was an intelligence specialist, an IS. The guy who's writing this, by the way. he wrote "I can of whoop at," but then he actually goes and see everything is like I was saying before. Everything is, look at that. He got 30 stars for this, and his name is deplorable. It's like an anonymous board. But I was able to find it, and it all checked out. So this is legit. And you see how this is in quotes. This is their way. This is his way of like, showing his source, because he's saying the can of whoop ass we've all been waiting for. So, what does he mean by that? Let's see. So I'll start again. I was not pleased with the way that Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher's trial was handled. And by trial, it's the UCMJ, of course, not a civilian trial. He was treated very badly, but despite this, was completely exonerated on all major charges. So it sounds like he probably got a couple minor charges. It sounds like when you're a Navy SEAL, first of all, a lot of these charges are going to be classified, so I doubt that we're actually going to find out exactly what they are. He might have, taken a shot and killed a woman or child by accident, when, that does happen in war, but it might have been a situation where it could have been avoidable, or he didn't follow the rules of engagement. There's so many different things it could be. But from what I'm seeing and from what it says here, that those would be major crimes, and he was exonerated, or at least not totally charged with the major crimes, which is why he still has his trident. But minor crimes, on the other hand, such as, disobeying a lawful order, yes, he might have been found to be in violation of that statute. So let's continue. I then restored. Okay, so he was treated very badly, but despite this, and by the way, do you know who this is speaking, right? I believe this is President Trump's words. I believe. It sounds like him, at least. Yeah, I think this is President Trump. Okay, because he's talking. This isn't how Esper. This is President Trump. So let me start again. I was not pleased with the way that Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher's trial was handled by the Navy. He was treated very badly, but despite this, was completely exonerated on all major charges. Yeah, that sounds like our president. I then restored Eddie's rank. So it sounds like he had a busted down rank. He probably got, let's say he's he's almost going to retire. Let's say he's like a E8, a senior chief. He might have been busted down to an E7, a chief, which is still very high rank. He would have also probably gotten 60 days extra duty, 60 days restriction to base, things like that. Maybe even a little bit of time in the brig. But then again, all the major charges seem to have been dismissed, and like President Trump, the commander-in-chief, said, he was completely exonerated. I then restored Eddie's rank. Likewise, large cost overruns from past administrations, contracting procedures were not addressed to my satisfaction. Therefore, and this must be in bold for a reason, Secretary of the Navy Richard Spencer's services have been terminated by Secretary of Defense Mark Esper. So, I think you guys get it, but, this guy who was, who did something wrong, this Navy SEAL, that's not who was terminated. He ended up turning out okay. The president basically restored his rank, as he is the number one in the chain of command in the military. A lot of people forget that about the president. They are the top, military officer that there is in the whole military. So he obviously has the power to restore rank and things like that. So, anyways, therefore, Secretary of the Navy Richard Spencer, which again, Mark Esper, the Secretary of Defense, was terminated. Although, we know how Trump talks a little bit different. Secretary of Defense actually told him to hand in his resignation letter, which is basically being terminated, which is why I love our president. He just says it how it is. He doesn't talk all that political mumbo-jumbo. All right, and we'll continue. I thank Richard for his service. Now he's speaking about the Navy, the Secretary of the Navy, former Secretary of the Navy, and commitment. Now, he maybe should have used a different word there. In the Navy, we go honor, courage, commitment. Those are our 3 core values, and in that order. Which is why when I'm called a liar, we're talking honor. All right? When someone talks like they could beat me in a fight, we're talking courage. And when someone acts like I'm not taking care of what I'm supposed to be taking care of, that's commitment. They're talking about all 3 of the core values that's instilled in me for my whole life. Anyways, forget about me. Let's talk about the story. So he probably should have said, I thank Richard for his service, as well as his honor, courage, and commitment. He should have said that. Instead, he said the 3rd core value, but at least it's one of the core values. All right, so Eddie will retire peacefully with all of the honors. Wow, all? Wow, that's good. That he has earned, including his trident pin, which is a big deal to Navy SEALs. I don't know if any of you guys watch that show, and I hate to even talk about a TV show right now, but there's a show called SEAL Team, and one of the guys, he might not be able to operate anymore, and, once you lose your trident pin as a Navy SEAL, it's very hard to adjust. It's very hard for anyone in the military to adjust. Imagine a Navy SEAL. You're getting sent out to kill Baghdadi and people like that every day. Well, not every day, but, when you're putting in work. Anyway, let's continue. I feel like I'm talking too much. Okay. I'm just so excited about the information that I'm going to be dropping. Okay, so he'll retire peace with all the honor. Okay. Admiral and now Ambassador to Norway, Ken Braithwaite, which is a familiar name, and we will talk about why, amongst many other things, will be nominated. I didn't even know that he was the one being nominated. He just happens to be connected to another story, which makes sense. Will be nominated to me to be the new Secretary of the Navy, a man of great achievement and success. I know Ken will do an outstanding job. And so that's the president. And then this is the former intelligence officer. He says, I can only say it's about damn time. Let the heads begin to roll. Link. Boom. Oh, did he tweet that? Was that what that was all about? Alright, so he just basically referred to his, I'm pretty sure there's actually more to this, too. Now, let's see what other board members, if anybody can kind of add to it. Alright, so this guy seems to be in the know. There were a bunch of people, so he quoted, damn, it's about time. A not-so-gentle warning for the secretaries to get their houses in order. Make America great again. There were a bunch of people in on this. Now, this, we can't say this is 100% fact, but trust me, certain threads, you can tell these guys know what they're talking about, and they don't just make assumptions, they put source. There were a bunch of people in on this. He told the Navy in a previous tweet, stop it and get back to work. I mean, because mind you, the U.S. Navy is the most powerful fighting force on the earth. And I'm not just saying that because I was in the Navy. It just is. I mean, we run all the ocean, most of the world's aircraft carriers, which we can launch aircraft off of, so we can also rule the skies. And then if we want to come on your land, guess what? We have the Marines. So, the U.S. Navy is definitely the most powerful fighting force and most effective. Marines hate to hear that, they're part of the Navy, but they are their own branch, but at the same time, they're under the Navy. Okay, so I hope he fires all the ankle biters. I can tell that this guy was in the military. He just wasn't Navy. Right down to the guy serving above Chief Gallagher. Oh, so he was a chief. Wow, so he would have been busted down to a petty officer first class. So this guy was only a chief. Wow. Hell, he ought to commission Gallagher at the rank of captain. Well, that would be OCS, changing from enlisted to officer. And put him in charge of the SEAL program. All right, maybe this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Wouldn't that be spitting back in the Navy's eye? He seems like he's probably in the Army. He hates the Navy. All right, so let me see. All right, this is probably taking away the man's trident was just virtue signaling and petty at best. It's refreshing to see a POTUS stop taking crap from those who work for him. And just so you know, these people, they're not always nice to the president. This is a good thing that the president did. Making sure this guy kept his full honors and, his trident as well. This guy might not be all for this. He doesn't really like that comment that I am like either. So just to clarify, you're in full support of the president's intervention in military justice. Well, this guy's kind of an idiot anyways, because the president is part of the military. He's the number one guy. But I do kind of know what he's saying. He shouldn't really, get too involved too often with the UCMJ. Glad to see him disrupting the morale of our Navy for no end. This guy has no what he's talking about. And delighted that you think he has the constitutional authority to do all that as Commander-in-Chief. Well, yes, he does have the... Alright, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Anyway, so I just wanted to read that to you guys. It's just sometimes when you see something like the stars, someone has like a bunch of stars, they're qualified, and especially if they source. Technically, the president works for we the people. Wouldn't you say? You can be in favor of this wild overreach. See, yeah, it might be a wild overreach, but it's still constitutional and totally within his rights to do. Of presidential authority and spitting in the face of the Navy. Can you? How is it spitting in the face? I mean, the Secretary of the Navy, there's another article, and I want to pull it up. It's just I'm worried about when I'm scrolling past things, giving away too much. There's another article on this that I have, and it's not, an opinion piece like this one. It's 100% factual, and it explains a little bit more. Now, this Secretary of the Navy is kind of like a never Trumper. But, you're not supposed to be too political in the military. But when you get to, places like Secretary of the Navy, yeah, you get political. POTUS does not work. He was probably, I'm pretty sure actually Obama appointed him. But actually, no, Trump might have appointed him as well. I don't know. I think that's in the article as well. POTUS does work for us, and by extension, so did the Secretary of the Navy. Thanks for the reminder. Anyways, okay. Alright, so this is getting a little... Oh, Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman disobeying orders should be examined closely also. Which is a good point. If they're going to say all that, that is a good point. Anyways, guys, we're starting to get into opinion a little bit too much. Although this guy right here, he has like 40 stars. It's that same guy, DB Cut. Did you protest when Obama fired General Ham for wanting to send troops to Benghazi and save the ambassador? And may I add, not just save the ambassador, but also save those 2 Navy SEALs and Marine that were there fighting to the death. They are shot multiple times, and every single limb kept fighting, didn't stop. They could barely breathe. The life was leaving their body as they continued to protect Ambassador Stevens. And our men were ready to go the whole time, ready to go, all loaded up. And Obama said, "Stand down, stand down, stand down." And then General Ham decided that he was going to take the troops anyway, and he got fired. So yeah, that's disobeying a order, but it's only disobeying an order if it's a lawful order. So anyways, on that note, we'll leave it there. But I think that was a great, I actually like that a lot. And then he says, "Just curious." So that's pretty good. But that's a little bit too much opinion for my liking. What we're going to be talking about is going to be based on facts. And like I said, 90% fact, and I might throw in some opinion. So there's one more article on that. I had 3 articles on that, and I picked that one in particular just to give you guys something. That was probably the one that was like the least significant. It was basically just about Secretary of Navy being forced to resign. But it was pretty interesting because it turned out Secretary of the Navy, there might be more to the guy. And we're going to get into that with that 3rd article. But if I start looking for it right now through those emails, I might blow, because I was pretty descriptive in my titles. So, yeah, I don't want to ruin the future shows. Nor do I want to give out certain intel, or if somebody wrote me an email or something, I don't want to, betray their trust either. So, yeah, so today I'm planning on doing noon for part 2, and really, it's really going to be part 1. This is just like an introduction, just letting you guys know that I hit a gold mine. So, it's going to be very interesting, and Kelly, thank you for kicking it off. And it's really going to kick off today at 12 Eastern Time, maybe 2 Eastern Time. That way, you guys, on the West Coast, get to catch the whole show as well. So we'll play it by ear. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. And I'm going to check out, speaking of comments, I'm going to check out the chat real quick. So, Becca Morrison, hello. And Amanda Sleeping, but I'll tell you said hi. Kelly Kibo, thank you again. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. That meant so much to me. I mean, to finally get a donation, it's just amazing. Thank you so much. It's $9.99, and that's gonna help. I mean, that's gonna go towards this equipment. I don't care about, usually, I always say the Super Chat, the Venmo, the Cash App, those 3 methods of donations, those are supposed to be, for the family and things like that. Well, all modes of donations are going to the channel for now, until I have the things I need, because I want this channel to be the best it can be for me, for mainly the viewers. I mean, we have such good sources. We break so many big stories. I have credentials, all this stuff, and we're sitting here on a phone. I need to get my game up, but I just don't have the money. So when I ask for donations, it's not going in my pocket. It's going straight to the channel. And like I said, anyone who donates, you'll have proof of what your money was spent on. And, you know, depending on how much you donate, something will be named after you. And if it's a certain amount, you'll be the first person to receive Red Pill News dispensary merchandise. And there's 4 different types of merchandise, and you get your choice of one of the 4, and you get that for free if you donate 40 or 50 or more. So okay, just wanted to get that all out there, and let me just continue. York Vango, how you doing? I'm surprised you're still up, or that you are up already. I mean, let's see. So York Vango. Let's see. Nan MC. I don't see you in here that much, Nan MC. Obviously, it's probably a better hour for you. And Nan MC, please tell me a little bit about yourself. Let me know what hours are best for you, things like that, in the comments after the show. And by the way, guys, anybody looking to donate, you know, whether it be PayPal or, you know, like Kelly just did it with Super Chat. And Super Chat's good. And, you know, it's good because a lot of people don't know how to work, like, the PayPal, but it's actually really simple. Or the Venmo, or Cash App, or any of the things. But whatever you know how to do, if you do want to donate, all of the information that you need is in the description. Okay? I'm not going to sit here and beg like I did the other day, because when I did that, I didn't receive 1 penny. So, none of that. I'm not going to do any of that. And thank you so much for the $9.99, Kelly. I really appreciate it. All right, Becca Morrison again. Hello. Oh, 3:50 at the time. So, at the time, it was actually 4:58 here. You must be Central Time. Brian Cole. Yeah, so Brian Cole got the same. He's East Coast like me. And Brian, I find, by the way, I find your after every show, at some point, not right away, always, but at some point, I will always go through the show. I don't necessarily watch the whole show again, but I go through and I scroll and I read every single message, and I learn a lot. And you're a very intelligent guy. I enjoy reading your comments. I just want to let you know that. I'm down with whatever, brother. Cool. And there's the 99 from Kelly Kibo. And Kelly, when she sent that, and by the way, if you send Super Chat, of course, you can also leave a message. Kelly left a message. She said, really excited to hear all this info and appreciate all the time you put into it. Oh, thank you so much, Kelly. That means the world to me. Thank you. Those kind words mean a lot. You don't even know. Because I do. I put a lot of time into this. Thank you. It feels good to be appreciated. I said hello to York, Brian. Said yes, RPND. Handsome Truth 8200. Let's see. Handsome Truth. I know that you're a troll, because every single time I see you, you're always saying something negative. And just so you know, no, the information is not Q stuff. There is a segment that is Q stuff. And guess what? You're going to be one of the first people that I contact when all this goes down. All right? So I'll talk to you December 9th and December 11th. Before 2020, we'll be talking. But you're welcome, as always. Obviously, you're a fan of the show. And just so you know, it's not Q. It is way more than that. We're talking, without giving it away, I can't, but it's like 5 to 6% Q. All right? Nothing I just talked about right now has anything to do with Q. It has to do with its international, global affairs, domestic affairs. It has to do with like a bunch of different little like gold nuggets, like I said, all types of stuff. There is one small portion of stuff that I'll present that's on cue, and literally, let's say I do 5 shows, it would probably be like 1/3 of one of the 5 shows about Q. So don't worry about it, Mr. Handsome Truth 8200. And like I said, you're welcome here. You know, I don't mind some trolling and stuff like that. The only thing I don't like is when people involve my family, especially in the real world, and actually go after them. That's when I get mad. Brian called this. They don't. Yeah, exactly, and that's what it is. All this stuff that I'm really presenting is the stuff that they don't want you to know. That is why they are carrying this all out while they have this bread and circus clown show at Capitol Hill. That it's like even me, even when I know better, and I find myself almost like, oh, so I gotta watch the impeachment today, and it's like so boring, and I don't even want to watch it. It's all BS. We've learned all that we're gonna learn, and in the end, no matter what, Senate's gonna vote it down anyway. So, but yet we're all stuck and we're watching it, and if we're not watching it, we're definitely keeping up with it. I'll tell you that. So, I totally agree, Brian. Let me see. Brian Cole, have an idea? Maybe we should make a Discord and try to make a community. Well, I would love to do that. But there'll be a video coming up and you'll understand why I shied away from that. I actually, like 4 months ago, I was going to do that. But that's when I got some intel about somebody else who has a Discord and what was actually going on that Discord. And I have proof and everything, and I don't want to put anyone at risk. But as far as the community thing, I do have some other ideas where I know some things that are a lot more secure, and I can set it up like that. Also, like Patreon. I'm not going to be doing Patreon where you get more information. Patreon will be, you don't have to pay for merchandise, but that's how you get merchandise. If you become Patreon, then you can get merchandise, as well as you will have access to me personally. So, you know what I mean? Like, you can call me whenever you want. I mean, I'll give you my schedule, and you know what I mean? Basically, that's what, I just think it's a brilliant idea. Because I never believed in withholding information from people. And just giving the best information if someone gives me money. No. If someone wants to do Patreon, which I plan to set up, but only for merchandise, and depending on what you're getting for merchandise is, what your Patreon level will be. And you will have a lot of people like to call me a lot and talk to me, but I just don't have the time. But you know what? If you're Patreon, then you'll know my schedule and you'll know when you can call. You just text ahead of time, and I'll say, all right, call in 10 minutes. And we could just talk about whatever's on your mind. Sometimes people want to talk personal stuff. 99% of the time, they want to go over certain subjects and maybe give some intel. For some reason, people don't really like to send emails. They like to call and talk directly. So, but the main part of Patreon will be merchandise. And it's really cool stuff. I didn't go cheap. I
I got the nice stuff. It's like that nice material on the shirts, and so it has a cool design as well. Not the design that's on my I don't know what it's called, avatar or whatever. I had a new design made. A couple people sent in an amazing artist. He sent in a really cool thing, and it's this wicked cool symbol that I'm gonna start using. But for now, I sent it in to have the T-shirts and mug. And damn, I always forget what the fourth thing is. I have to go check it out and see what it is. But anyways, those things are in the process of happening right now. And no, we don't kick out trolls here. So no, we're not gonna kick out any troll. In fact, if they really are acting like an ass, I like to just let that sit there, and I can look at it later. They have to basically deal with the fact that they're writing stuff that's trollish. Although what he wrote wasn't so bad. He's basically just saying, the Q, da da da. It doesn't bother me. Even if it was, one of my worst enemies, and he was saying the most messed up stuff, I don't mind. I don't like booting people. You can put them on timeout, things like that. And that reminds me, I have a couple of moderator positions to fill. A couple of moderators had to go, and I have a couple positions to fill. So I'm just letting you guys know that, and I already got a couple people in mind, just so you know. And one is in this room, as I come across Spank the Monkeys here. In my opinion, what those terrorists do to us and other people, even their own people, own people. The ISIS fighter got what he deserves. Exactly. So Spank the Monkey, you already know the whole story. Okay. Well, I'll be going over this story later as well. But yeah, so you want to see a guy have his whole career taken down for taking out one of these pieces of shit just because it wasn't done exactly in the rules of engagement the way it should be. I mean, he should be following rules as a Navy SEAL. People think of them as these physical specimens. Most of them are actually short, but they are wicked, mentally strong, and very, very high IQ. And also, they are a physical specimen, but they're actually short and just really smart and stuff like that. The typical Navy SEAL. Of course, there's always exceptions. Anyways, let's continue. Yeah. Oh, so Brian, you were in the military? Go Spank the Monkey. I just want to make sure I say hey. Oh, so you know that show, Spank the Monkey. Yeah. And they had something very similar recently with that ambassador. I think that CBS did that on purpose in order to remember the black ambassador that gets killed in, I think it's Libya, and I'm talking you, Spank the Monkey. They did that the week before, and then had the funeral the week after the ambassador to Ukraine, who was actually crooked, and a CIA asset. She was on the stand, and she came off as, like this woman with this distinguished career, and which she does have a distinguished career and all that, but it's like nobody can say anything bad about her. And I really do feel like they use things like TV shows, movies, music as propaganda. And we're going to get more into propaganda as well. That's another one of the subjects that's involved in all this. Okay. Yeah, I don't watch much TV either, but when there's a show called SEAL Team, I watch it. You know, Navy SEALs. I love it. Um, oh yeah, we got sleeper cells for sure. Presidential pardons, yep. NCIS, yeah, I just understand President Dad. Yeah, NCIS, I can't stand that stuff. I really don't like TV at all. There's some HBO stuff I like, but regular TV, not really. Just sports because that's what I do for a living. So I got to keep up with it, and it's a passion of mine. Usually, truthers aren't big sports fans. There's always exceptions, but for the most part, because you realize you're gonna worry about who wins this Sunday when you're aware of how much crap is going on in the world. But most of us, especially if we have a family, we have to take care of that family. So you do what you're good at, and I happen to be good at sports. By the way, if you guys caught that pick from tonight, did I nail it or what? Baltimore, they ended up winning 45-6. All right, I picked Baltimore -3. I even knocked it down to -2.5 on one of them. And then I also did the teaser and the parlay. I hit it all. Remember, it was 53.5 and 3. I hit it both ways. So, that's why it's week 12. Still haven't had a losing week. And this week ended up being a good week. The only problem is I don't have a lot of money to bet. Like you guys saw, what I bet is $3.33. on each bet, I put $3.33. I risked 4 to win 333, meaning not 330, $3.33. I just, with the rent, what it is here, it's 2,200 going on 2,300. It's just, and I got a baby. I got my girl. She has cancer. I just, I have a lot of people that depend on me. My daughter's potty trained, but she's still at that stage where I still have to get the pull-ups because, just in case, and especially when we go out or at night. So she still needs the pull-ups and the wipes and all that. Okay, so let me see. Same boat. I just became a single parent. If I wasn't swamped in bills, I'd have loved to donate too. Oh, thank you so much. And that's another thing. I don't want I don't want people to that reminds me. Now I feel horrible. I don't want people to feel bad if they can't donate. Right now, it could be my favorite YouTube channel in the world, and I wouldn't be able to donate. I just don't have it. I'm just saying, if anybody, does have the means or could afford it, that it would be greatly appreciated. I hope this doesn't die. I want to make sure I say hello to everyone. Becca, Tesla enthusiasm. You're the only one I missed. So I just want to say hello. And what does that say? I'm down for the wrench if I'm available. Yeah, so I already got in my mind who I'm picking. But yeah, it's people who are here a lot and active. All right, hello. Sorry guys. I just hold on. I just wanted to check back in real quick because it shut off on me last time, and it's probably going to die again. So I just wanted to say to that very nice young woman, I know it's like you have a family, and trust me, I couldn't donate to someone right now either. So I'm not saying, I don't want to make people feel bad if they can't donate, not at all. I was just thinking, if somebody could spare anything, even if it's $5, $10, but whatever it is, like Kelly, $10, that's great. And in fact, Kelly, since you're the first person to donate, I don't think I'm gonna get three, because it's supposed to be three people. I have three orders that are gonna come before the others. So you guys are those three people are gonna get them before me, as far as be the first ones to get the merchandise. You will be one of those three people. So just write me a message and let me know what you want. Although I had to go and check in and see what the fourth thing is. I know it's a t-shirt, a long sleeve shirt, and it's not the cheap stuff. It's like the nice material. I went with the better material, especially if it's going to be something for Patreon. And a mug. What's the fourth one? I remember I almost did a hat, and I was like, no, nobody wants that. I forget what the fourth one was. I'll get back to you, Kelly, as well as everybody else. But you know what? Since you were the first person to donate, for this particular mission, like I said, normally a super chat that would go to me and my family, but all methods of donations will be going to getting this channel talk, because about it, that when I do talk about it, that's when there's never going to be a donation if I talk about it. So I think by now you guys understand the whole deal. So I'll check on that on the merchandise, what the fourth thing is. And like I said, let me know in the comments what time is best for you guys. Whether you're East Coast, West Coast, but especially you West Coast and Mountain Time people, and I know we have listeners in Alaska and Hawaii. Let me know what's the best time. I'm thinking 12 or 2 Eastern Time for part 2, which will really be like part 1. We'll really actually get into it. This was kind of just the introduction, and I can't wait. So, Red Pill News Dispensary. Let me just make sure I got everybody. Yep, I think I said hello to everybody who stopped by. And thank you so much. Red Pill News Dispensary. I'll see you guys later.